One's ready. One's ready. Go!
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. This is your daily drop for the 4th of June. Still one spot remaining for the Operator Training Summit happening in San Diego, 21 and 22 June. Lots and lots of time in the pool. If you guys are interested, well, we've got Taylor Starch coming out to do running stuff and mobility stuff. We've got PJs. You're going to be stuck with a crusty retired combat controller, but I mean, that's what it is, right? So we'll have Trent and Aaron out there as well. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. Also, this is brought to you guys by 18 Alpha Fitness, 18afitness.com. Get yourself a tailor-made program from Coach Edgerton. He's a retired 18 Alpha, i.e. a Green Beret officer, and he was also a strength and conditioning coach at Air Force Special Warfare Assessment and Selection. So you guys can use the promo code, the number 1 ready, to get yourself a discount and a tailor-made program. All right, this is going to be fast and furious joint news because I'm limited on time right now and got a meeting I got to go to. So joint news, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to boost NATO defense spending and attend D-Day commemoration in Europe. Pete Hegseth will participate in the annual D-Day ceremonies in France and push NATO allies to increase defense spending to 5% GDP. He will also meet with Ukraine's defense minister to discuss countering Russia aggression and support deterrence efforts. Next, Hegseth declines Ukraine meeting amid NATO defense discussions. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth will not attend a NATO defense ministers meeting with Ukraine due to a scheduling conflict with the UDCG meeting. However, he emphasized the U.S. commitment to supporting Ukraine and NATO allies against Russian threats. You can feel whatever kind of way about that, because I know I certainly do. And I don't have time to get into it right now. But if you've been listening to this, you know exactly how we feel about it. Pentagon to align Greenland command with U.S. for enhanced defense. The Defense Department plans to align Greenland with the U.S. Northern Command to strengthen Golden Dome missile defense efforts. This move aims to counter Russian threats and enhance U.S. defensive capabilities in the region. Yes, more with Greenland. I freaking love it. It's great. Speaking of which, did you guys hear about that underground nuclear facility that was built in the 60s during the Cold War? That's 100 feet under ice or something like that now. That is wild to think about. Might need to do an episode on that. Next, challenges in replacing drone attack systems amid Operation Spiderweb. A drone attack on Ukraine by Russia has highlighted vulnerabilities in the U.S. air defense systems, particularly the slow replacement of drones. Experts warn that the U.S. must accelerate drone fielding to counter evolving threats effectively. Agreed. However, I think that this is jacked up because Operation Spiderweb, from what I'm tracking, was Ukraine on Russia with the drones, and it destroyed a whole bunch of their bombers. Unless I'm misunderstanding what Operation Spiderweb was. All right, next, DoD civilian workers face challenges in Homeland Security efforts. The Defense Department is addressing Homeland Security by protecting civilian workers at the U.S.-Mexico border. Pentagon officials noted that service members' assignments may vary between security and non-security roles based on mission needs. Next, Michael Duffy confirmed as Pentagon Acquisitions Chief. The Senate confirmed Michael Duffy as Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment, a role focused on improving military supply chains and acquisition processes. Duffy aims to enhance competition and affordability in defense procurement. Next, transgender service members face policy challenges over self-ID. The Defense Department is addressing policies on self-identification for transgender service members who face potential separation if they cannot maintain readiness. A Supreme Court ruling on related laws may impact the department's policies. All right, Air Force news. General Alvin calls for drone strikes in wake-up call for U.S. air defense. Chief of Staff at General David Alvin emphasized the need for advanced air defense systems following Ukraine's drone strikes. noting the U.S. has fewer defenses compared to adversaries like Russia. He highlighted the urgency of countering drone threats to protect U.S. bases. That's no kidding. That's a big problem. Next, General Alvin urges diverse arsenal for Air Force amid Ukraine drone challenges. Chief of Staff General David Alvin stressed the need for a balanced Air Force with diverse plans to counter drone threats as seen in Ukraine. He noted that high-end platforms alone are insufficient and called for innovation in national security strategies. I agree. High-end means expensive, means time-consuming to acquire, time-consuming to build, when these guys are throwing up $300 drones and making it work. Next, lessons from Ukraine's drone. It's a lot of drone stuff, man. Lessons from Ukraine's drone attacks highlight U.S. air defense gaps. Ukraine's drone strike revealed U.S. air defense vulnerabilities, prompting experts to urge stronger countermeasures against Russian tactics. The Mitchell Institute cautioned that the U.S. must enhance its air power to address these threats. Space Force news. A new child development center planned at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. A $38 million child development center will be built at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base to support military families, offering care for over 400 children. The facility aims to enhance family support and mission readiness. I'm glad that they're getting a new CDC facility, but think about this from let's call it a residential perspective, right? What kind of house could you get for $38 million? And this is what I don't understand. There are houses, now, granted, can't house 400 children at one time, right? But it's not made to house and bed 400 children all at one time. Like $38 million for a building is bonkers to me. And I, like, again, I equate it to, all right, I think in Vegas, the mean average for a house, I think is $500,000, $500,000. So not cheap whatsoever, but that's I think an average size house that's supposed to be 2,200 square feet or something like that. I don't know. I'm going off of memory here, which you guys know is not great. What could you build for $38 million? Damn. All right, next, Space Force faces budget cuts and Golden Dome defense challenges. The Space Force's FY26 budget may shrink to $26.3 billion, impacting its Golden Dome missile defense priorities. Chief of Space Operations General Chance Saltzman emphasized the need for increased funding to address defense and homeland security needs. Next, commercial space companies secure $4 billion for launch range upgrades. The Space Force awarded $4 billion contract to Jacobs Technology and Vandenberg Space Force Base for launch range upgrades over the next 10 years. The contract aims to enhance commercial partnerships and improve launch capabilities. U.S. Space Force awards $1.2 billion for missile tracking satellites. The Space Force contracted BAE Systems for $1.2 billion to develop missile tracking satellites for the Resilient Missile Warning System. These satellites will enhance mission detection and tracking capabilities in low and medium Earth orbits. All right, last two, and these are of interest. Can the U.S. counter a Ukraine-style drone attack? My guess is probably no. Experts question whether the U.S. can defend against drone attacks similar to those in Ukraine, citing gaps in air defense systems. Concerns focus on the need for rapid advancements to address evolving global threats. I'll tell you what, like, when you start looking at the details of how Ukraine conducted that attack, one, if you don't think that the U.S. was involved in that, like, you're probably mistaken. But at the same time, like, it was pretty amazing. All these drones snuck in on vehicles and trucks, and then at one time, all launched, and they launched undetected. So if you're telling me the U.S. could counter that, I got news for you. Next, last one, U.S. farmland at risk from foreign drone attacks amid Chinese ownership. Chinese-owned farmland near U.S. military bases raised concerns about the potential drone attacks following incidents like those in the Ukraine. The proximity of the foreign-owned land to bases heightens national security risks. Yeah, no kidding. Why are we allowing foreign nations to buy up land, especially China, to buy up land and houses for that matter, and commercial properties in the US? Do you think that me as an American citizen or an American business owner could go over to China and buy stuff? No, I couldn't go buy land over there. Are you out of your mind? So why do we allow people to do it here? All right, we're out here. Thanks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a review, all that kind of good stuff. Later.